Have you ever been surrounded by people, hearing the hum of conversation, the sound of laughter, yet felt completely alone? Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm really glad you're here today. It is a strange and confusing experience, isn't it? Standing in a room full of life, maybe at a party, a family gathering, or a busy office, and feeling like there is a thick, invisible glass wall separating you from everyone else. You are there physically, but emotionally, you feel like you're drifting in deep space. It's a feeling that makes you question yourself. You wonder, why can't I just jump in? Why can't I feel the same joy everyone else seems to be having? But I want to start by opening up a thought that might change how you see this. Because loneliness, despite what we assume, has very little to do with how many people are around you. It isn't a math problem where more people equals less loneliness. In fact, for many deeply feeling people, the crowd is exactly where the loneliness feels the sharpest. Today, we aren't looking at this clinically. We are looking at it from a human perspective, just you and me, talking through the reality of being unseen in a crowded room. See, there is a huge difference between being alone and feeling lonely. You've probably noticed that you can sit by yourself in a quiet park, or in your room with a book, and feel totally full, peaceful, and connected. That is solitude, and it is beautiful. But then, you walk into a bustling room where everyone knows your name, and suddenly feel a hollow ache in your chest. That is loneliness. Specifically, the loneliness of disconnection. Proves that loneliness isn't the absence of people, it's the absence of being understood. When we are in a crowd, the contrast becomes painful. We look around and assume that everyone else is perfectly happy, perfectly connected, and having the time of their lives. But here's the part most people don't realize about those crowds. A lot of the people you see smiling and laughing are performing. We have a bad habit of comparing our internal reality, all our messy feelings and insecurities, with everyone else's external highlight reel. In a crowded room, you are seeing the masks people wear to feel safe. And because you know how you feel inside, you assume you are the only one struggling. This creates a heavy pressure to perform, to match the energy of the room even if it doesn't match your spirit. And nothing drains the soul faster than pretending to be something you are not. When you have to suppress your true nature just to fit in, you are essentially telling yourself that the real you isn't welcome there. You can hold a conversation, you can smile, you can even make people laugh, but if you're doing it from behind a mask, you aren't connecting. You are just managing the interaction. And being managed is not the same as being seen. And this is where the feeling quietly deepens for so many of us. It's about the quality of the interaction. Many people who feel lonely in crowds are people who crave depth. You might be someone who values deep, meaningful conversations, talking about dreams, fears, ideas, the things that really matter. But crowded rooms are rarely designed for depth. They are designed for breadth. They are designed for small talk. How's work? Did you see the game? Crazy weather we're having. There is absolutely nothing wrong with small talk. It serves a social purpose. But for someone who is hungry for a real meal, a snack just doesn't satisfy. When your heart wants depth, small talk can feel like silence. You might be listening to a group chatter, nodding along, but your spirit is starving. It feels like skimming the surface of an ocean when you want to dive deep. You might try to steer the conversation towards something real, only to have the topic shift back to the surface. That leaves you feeling awkward, exposed, and incredibly isolated. It is also important to gently acknowledge how our past shapes this feeling. If you grew up feeling like your emotions were too much, or if you were often told you were too sensitive, you might have learned to guard your heart. In a crowd, that guard goes up automatically. It's a defense mechanism. It's your mind trying to protect you from the pain of being misunderstood again. So, you might find yourself physically present but emotionally withdrawn, observing the room rather than participating in it. It's almost like watching a movie of a party rather than being at the party. You are safe behind the glass, but you are also lonely behind it. Please don't judge yourself for this. It is a very human response to wanting to protect your own heart. There is also a physical side to this that we ignore. For highly sensitive people, a crowded room is an assault on the senses. The noise, the lights, the overlapping conversations, the mixed energies. It can be overwhelming. When your nervous system is overwhelmed, it goes into survival mode. It becomes hard to be open and warm when your body is bracing for impact. You might shut down not because you don't like people, but because your social battery is draining fast. This shutdown can look like you're being distant or aloof to others, but inside, it feels like drowning. You pull back to survive the overwhelm, others leave you alone, and the cycle of isolation gets worse. And then, there is that voice in your head. While you are standing there holding your drink, there is often an internal narrator whispering, "I don't belong here," or "No one finds me interesting," or "Everyone else has such an easy time with this." This creates a filter. If someone looks away, you assume they are bored with you. If a group laughs across the room, you assume you're missing out on an inside joke. This creates a blind spot where you miss the small moments of welcome that are actually there. A smile from a stranger, a kind nod. We miss these tiny bridges because we are so focused on the widening river. But here is a layer that I think is the most powerful, and we rarely talk about it. Sometimes loneliness is a signal of growth. If you have recently changed, if you have started working on yourself, healing, or shifting your values, you might find that you no longer fit into the rooms you used to fit into perfectly. You might be surrounded by old friends or colleagues you've known for years, yet feel like a stranger because you have outgrown the dynamic. This is the loneliness of evolution. You are still in the same container, but you are a different shape now. You might be craving conversations about growth and the future, while the room is stuck in the past. This doesn't mean the other people are wrong. It just means the resonance is gone. It is painful to realize that shared history doesn't always guarantee a shared future. You can love people deeply and still feel lonely around them if the connection has stopped growing. So where do we go from here? If you are nodding along to this, feeling that ache of recognition, I want to offer you some gentle reassurance. First and foremost, feeling lonely in a crowded room does not mean something is wrong with you. It is not a defect. It is not a sign that you are unlikable. In fact, it shows that you prize quality over quantity. That is a beautiful trait. You have a high standard for your heart, and you shouldn't lower that just to blend in. But we can navigate these spaces with a little more kindness toward ourselves. One gentle shift is to stop trying to connect with the entire room. The goal isn't to win over the crowd. The goal is to find just one moment of realness. Maybe it's seeking out one other person who looks a little overwhelmed and simply asking, "It's pretty loud in here, isn't it?" When we drop the mask, we give others permission to do the same. Vulnerability is a magnet. You might be surprised to find that the person next to you is just as lonely, just as tired of the small talk, and just waiting for someone to be real. And if you can't find that connection, that is okay too. Give yourself permission to leave early. Give yourself permission to go home. You don't have to force yourself to endure an environment that doesn't suit your spirit. Curate your life to honor your need for depth. Find your people. The ones who speak your language, the ones who don't require a mask. They might be fewer in number, but they will be far richer in spirit. As we close, take a deep breath and let your shoulders drop. If you have been carrying the weight of this loneliness, wondering if you are the only one. Please know that you are not. The world is full of people who feel exactly the way you do. People who are looking for depth in a shallow world. Feeling lonely in a crowded room doesn't mean you don't belong on this planet. It simply means your heart is looking for real connection, not just noise. Trust that instinct. Protect your peace. And know that your tribe is out there, perhaps feeling lonely in a room of their own, waiting to find someone just like you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this video made you feel seen, feel free to like and subscribe. You're not alone here. Take care of yourself.